Two Bird on a Wire by Free Craft on Loose. Read by Lily6645. This fic includes My Hero Academia levels of violence. That is your warning. Chapter 13. Sets of Clothes and Obstacle Course. Summary. The class attending their first heroic class. Trying their new hero costume, and yet again impressed by the twins' ability. Walking into the parking lot in the morning, 4 hours after they wrapped up their seemingly endless game of Uno, Hitoshi is really tired. Uncle Zawa got out of the car looking just as exhausted as Hitoshi was, but then Keigo, Izuku, and Papa emerged, looking all cheerful and energetic despite having not slept at all. How? Hitoshi found himself asking. Don't ask. Uncle Zawa answered him. My running theory so far is because Kei and I are trained to be nocturnal, but we do not. Avians does not need that much sleep. Izuku answered the question. Hitoshi's gaze moved to Papa, and he just shrugs. Told you, Uncle Zawa said as he strolls to the main building. Katsuki was waiting for Zukun, Keikun, and Hitokun. They had agreed to meet up at the front door and then go to class together. Kachan! And there they are. Zukun, as always, bouncing on his feet. Keikun lazily strolling behind him, and beside him was Hitokun, looking like a zombie. You look like shit, Katsuki commented once they stopped in front of him. No shit, Sherlock, Hitoshi-kun answered him with a deadpan. What happened to you? Nothing. We just got an official yesterday and pulled an all-nighter last night. And Teach let you? Knowing we have our official first day the next day? Katsuki can't believe it. Fun fact! Shota is the one who suggested it, Izuku answered him, starting to walk their short distance to the classroom. And don't you ever play Uno with Izu and Shota. All night was barely enough for one game, Keikun said with mild horror. What kind of Uno took all night for a single game? Uno flip. Hitokun, Izukun, and Keikun answered him at the same time as they opened the door to the classroom. Well, no Monopoly or Uno got it, Katsuki said, making a mental note. What's wrong with Monopoly? One of the kids in the class, a boy with black hair, Katsuki forgot his name. Su's just too good at it, Keikun answered. You're not even trying, Izukun deadpan. Being taught by pro heroes is interesting. They only do some introduction and pretest. Izuku and Keigo are content to just sit in the class. Izuku still can't forget how happy Yamada-sensei looked when Izuku and Keigo introduced themselves in a perfect English, or how bewildered Ectoplasm Sensei or Cemento Sensei after they submitted their pre-test in only half of the period time. But nothing is more exciting than the heroics class. As if on cue, the door to the class opens and All Might enters.
I am here, walking through the door like a normal person.
The class was still for a second before it burst into chaos. Almost everyone was screaming now at the sight of the number one hero, but Izuku and Keigo have known better than to worship any hero. Hero is always just a human. After all, they won't be around forever. One bad patrol night is enough to fully knock that out of the twins. Izuku figures that it is only natural after you watch your hero get stabbed 3 times and have to fly him to the hospital yourself. Well, Keiko is the one who flies him, but that's the same. They still share the experience.
All right, everybody, calm down. I am not your main heroic teacher. That will be Aizawa-san. I am the TA, but he leaves the class to me as today is only testing for costumes and some feedback.
All Might explains. We have our costumes? Mina exclaims as she jumps up.
Yes!
All Might presses a button from a remote on the teacher's desk.
In fact, it is here!
The wall then opened up and 20 silver suitcases appear.
Now, go change and meet me in Gym B in 15 minutes.
With that, All Might was out of the room. Izuku picked up his case number 18 and Keigo's number 17, while Hitoshi picked up his number 16 and Ka-chan's number 19. They walk side by side to the changing room, Izuku and Keigo still using their vigilante uniform. Well, a new one, but the design and weapons are exactly the same. They both have many throwing knives, too many for Shota's liking. Izuku chuckles as he exited the bathroom stall, remembering Shota's expression as Izuku and Keigo took out knife after knife, ready with his black and green custom, black-colored thigh turtleneck shirt, black baggy pants, and dark green hoodie jacket. Everything is armored, even more than what they got from that place. Green tinted goggles around his neck, steel-toed dark green thigh boots. Keigo has the same thing, just different in color. Keigo had dark red. Hitoshi is wearing what looks like a copy of Eraserhead's costume, just with a different kind of armor, and is midnight blue, while Ka-chan has a sleeveless black tank top, black baggy pants, and what looks like a giant grenade as a gauntlet. Ka-chan? That is inconvenient, Izuku said, pointing at the gauntlet.
It turned out bigger than I wanted, but it's still practical,
Katsuki said as he walked out of the room. Izuku, Keigo, and Hitoshi follow him. When they open the door, Hitoshi knows Izuku and Keigo are giddy. They can barely be contained with their excitement as they stand in front of the massive obstacle course. Well, it was nothing compared to the whole city, but they'd been staying on the ground for too long. Might need to bring that up to Uncle Zawa.
Ah, looking good, young heroes!
All Might gives them a thumbs up.
Now, I have some forms I will give you if you think you want to change something in your costume.
All Might pauses as Keigo raises one hand.
We don't have our knives,
Keigo said, earning a smack upside the head from Izuku. Aizawa-sensei said no knives until we join one weapons training. Just wait, Kei. But the knives? Kei innocently asked, and Izuku put a hand on his hip. I'm going to run, Izuku said as he made a complete 180 walk to the start of the obstacle and began to climb it.
Young Izuku can use his wings?
All Might said, more like asked. We rarely use our wings, mainly to travel. We like to climb things.
I'll join him,
Kei explains before following Izuku. By this time, the rest of the class have joined them.
Well, you can all do the obstacle course first to test your movements. Then, if you want to alter anything, you can ask me for the forms, and I will help you with the technicality.
After All Might finishes explaining, they all turn to the obstacle course to be held captive by the twins' fluid motions as they play tag in the course area. That is the end of Chapter 13 of Two Bird on a Wire. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, please go support the original author, link in the description below. Hope you have a great day, night, evening, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, kittens!